SWEGTA! Hey folks, so I thought I'd do this video talking about my character in Agefield High and the experience in voice acting that character. By the way, yes, I have a character in Agefield High. His name is Patrick Johnson. The character is somewhat based on me. His likeness was borrowed from a video reaction that I did to one of the Agefield High trailers. It's a bit of a self-parody, while at the same time there are elements of the character that are, I'm gonna be clear, are not reflective of who I am as a person. If you listen to his lines, you can tell that he's a bit of a pseudo-intellectual, he likes heavy metal music, stuff like that. Kind of me poking fun at myself.
What you call hypocrisy, I call life experience. Why shouldn't I judge a book by its cover? It'll save me a lot of time.
But like I said, there are some parts of his dialogue that are just there for the sake of absurdity. It's just supposed to be comedic.
If you're not supposed to huff gasoline, then why do they make it smell so good?
I guess the police are coming to arrest me for my terrible acting. I think there's one thing that I should make clear, just to make sure that there's no conflict of interest, because I did say that I'm gonna review this game, and I will. There's a review and a playthrough in the making right now. But I do want to be clear about one thing. I was not paid for this gig. I actually volunteered to do it for free, because I thought it'd be fun to have a voice acting gig in a video game. I've never had that, and in this instance, I was actually given a lot of creative liberties in writing my own dialogue. What was cool about it too is there was no point where anybody pulled me aside and said, hey, you know, this dialogue right here, we're not down with that, this is a bit too far. Like, they were pretty, like, just offhands, just like, go ahead and write your own dialogue if you want, you can do that, here's what we need from you. And so over the span of, I think, maybe a week or two, I would write dialogue, record it, sometimes I would rewrite it and record new lines, but overall, I mean, like, the whole thing was just, you know, it's fun having you on board, Sweg. Go ahead, write this character if you're cool with it, and if you sign off on it. I did sign a contract to permit them to do this, by the way. We'd like to use your likeness from one of your videos, and it also, of course, you signing this gives us the rights to use your dialogue in the game. Standard stuff like that. Again, there was no money being exchanged. This was all just in good fun. And you know, the cool part about this, I want to mention this too. The developers actually contacted me about a week, I think, before the game dropped. They gave me a Steam key to the game, and they said, you know, the only thing that we ask of you is that you don't publish any gameplay or anything like that before the game has dropped. As soon as that's happened, go ahead. You know, anything you want to say about our game, good or bad, we want to hear it. And they did emphasize that. Like, just, they want me to be honest, which I think is cool, because I'm sure they're aware of the fact that there are some elements of the game that I think are lacking a lot. Like, the game doesn't perform all that well. They are in the process of patching that. Hopefully they'll make it run properly on most computers. I don't have the most advanced gaming computer ever, but I can run games like Red Dead Redemption 2 at medium to high settings with a pretty stable frame rate. Agefield High has struggled a lot on my computer. You'll see that in the playthrough, but, you know, I did lower the settings, and overall it's like, it's alright, I guess. So performance is definitely something that had I been in charge of this project and it would have been feasible, like, monetarily and time-wise, I would have emphasized this game needs to be properly optimized. That is one thing that I will say right away that you'll definitely see brought up in the review as well. And there are some moments where I feel like the comedy falls a bit flat. There's a very specific, almost esoteric joke that it didn't land the first time, but a bunch of characters in the game found it immediately funny. And me and my friends, by the way, during the playthrough, I'm joined by different friends from my Discord server, so there are guest appearances co-commentating the playthrough. But during that moment, we just kind of scratched our heads and went like, oh, I don't get why that's funny. And then the joke came up again like 10 minutes later, at which point we were like, what is the punchline? And one of us looked it up, and it's this really specific reference. And, you know, it's moments like that where I look at the game and I think, like, okay, why include that? Because I feel like the vast majority of people, they're not gonna get it. And it's not because they're, like, uncultured Philistines or whatever. Like, no, it's just, how would you know this unless you were aware of this very specific detail pertaining to a film? I'll explain it in the review later, but overall I'll say the jokes have been hit and miss. I still enjoy the game though. Like sitting down and playing this with friends has been enjoyable. I'm not gonna recommend it just yet, if I even will recommend it at some point. I have to get through the review, and I haven't finished the game yet, so I want to go through the whole thing before I form a proper opinion and tell people whether or not I would recommend it. But the developers did emphasize the importance of me just being honest, which I can appreciate. Even if I don't end up liking the game, even if by the time I release a review, I tell people just, avoid this or whatever, like at least there's a focus on just be straight up with people. I think that's cool. Refugium Games is a small development studio located in Germany, I believe, but for a studio of that size, an open world game with all these different mini games and side missions and such, it's a daunting task, and whether or not it fully panned out, more good than bad, I'll get to that during the review. Like I said, I haven't played through the whole thing, but thus far I'll say I've enjoyed my time with the game. Not because it's perfect, it's far from perfect, but nevertheless, I've had some fun with it, so I'll say that. Now, I did actually ask some people on Discord just now. I told them, I'm about to record this video talking about my character in the game. Is there anything you would like me to bring up? So Kristen Liberty wants me to talk about how all of this came to be, how it felt working with Agefield High, provided that the contract allows for it. There's nothing in the contract that tells me that I can't talk about this. There's no NDA or anything like that. I can fully opine on this game as much as I want. But as for how it came to be, as I recall it, I struck up a conversation with the lead of the game through DMs. And at one point, they asked me, or I offered, I think I may have offered, if you guys want, I could provide my voice for any kind of minor character in the game. That is the type of character I voice, by the way. So it's not, I'm not one of the main cast. I'm just one of the kind of like background characters that has a little bit more personality, I think, than some of the other background characters. That is something that I really wanted to do when writing my own dialogue. I wanted this character to stand out. I'm looking forward to hearing your feedback on that. By the way, by the end of this video, I will be linking you to an upload of all my voice lines. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. Refugium also gave me permission to post that. They even gave me screenshots that I use in that video and I used for this thumbnail. So thank you, Refugium. But as for how it came to be, I think I offered, I may have been asked, but at some point that was brought up and they were enthusiastic about it. I was excited to do it. And again, money was never a focus for me. I just wanted to have my voice be included in a video game. Even if the game is controversial or doesn't have the best reception, that's still kind of cool. That's fun. That's exciting. I like that. And the creative freedom that I had when it came to crafting this character of my own, and even having my likeness used in the game, all of that was really cool. And there was no point when the devs took me aside and said, hey, you have this voice line here where you maybe, say the word prick or something. We want to market this to as many people as possible, so you gotta cut down on profanity or anything like that. There was nothing like that. I don't know how much of it made it to the final product. I think there are some unused voice lines that are just absent from the game. I don't know if they are in the game files, but I have all of them on my computer, so I'll be uploading them. These are all the voice lines that I submitted to them, excluding ones that I submitted prior that I later told them, like, hey, I re-recorded these lines, they sound better now, or I redid some of the dialogue. Use these instead. So Cop Fighter wants to know, did I accurately represent myself in the game, or was I accurately represented? Again, it is comedically exaggerated, and there are some aspects of the character that have nothing at all to do with my personality. So Patrick is loosely based on me in a hyperbolic sort of way, and then on the side you do have some additional lines that I just thought were funny and added a bit more personality to the character. For instance, when it comes to something that actually reflects me, I've never been fond of math class. It was always one of the least interesting subjects in school, so I made sure that Patrick has lines where he just hates math.
Hey, you want to skip math class with me? I was thinking we could head back to the dorm and drink some nondescript beverages. What do you say we skip math class and do some biology instead?
Still
not as bad as math class.
I have no idea if I'm going to be able to use this to get any future gigs in games, but at least I have something that I can show people and be like, here's my acting capabilities in Agefield High. If you need me to voice a minor character in another video game, that'd be really cool. There's actually a game development studio in Sweden that I have a lot of respect for, that I am considering just talking to them and saying, I've done this one gig, I'm Swedish, but people sometimes confuse me for an American or a Canadian, so if you need a character that sounds like an American or something, like an American male, young sounding, I could do that. And here are some of the lines that I've done before, yada yada yada. Like, hopefully that can open up some doors in the future, even if they're just minor roles. I'd love to do that. But yeah, there is a review and a playthrough in the making. I am joined by friends during that playthrough, so hopefully you'll enjoy the banter and the commentary. There have been moments throughout the playthrough where we've noticed nice little details that the developers have added, but there are also some occasional moments where we stumble upon something that needs a bit more polish or is straight up broken. Either way, we compliment the things that we like and we criticize or poke fun at the things that we don't. I feel like that's fair enough. I've always been of the mindset that honesty is the best policy, so it's cool having Refugium be open to that, and not even just open, but actively encouraging me to be honest. I have seen some people express concerns about the game having like asset flips, and I have no idea. I don't think so, because I've seen, if you go to their Steam page, you can see that they've posted development behind the scenes glimpses. You can actually see that they made the map or had it planned out. You can see them working on the different models for the school. There are some beta versions of different characters, stuff like that. So I think they made all of their own assets. I could be wrong. If it comes to light that they just got some free 3D assets or something, then yes, I do think that should be criticized, but until that can be corroborated, I'm just not gonna really have an opinion on that, because I genuinely don't know. I'm not gonna presume. Some people have also said that it sounds like the voice acting is AI generated. It's not. These are actual people. I know that at least one of the actors in the game, I forget which one, I think he may have voiced Kale or Axel, one of the side characters, one of your friends in the game. I believe I could be wrong, but I believe he has worked with Refugium games in the past on other titles. So I just want to say, if you don't like the acting, or if you don't just like the casting, then you can criticize that, but rest assured, these are actual human beings, and I don't think they should be written off as AI. They are people. Again, if it's a quality thing and you think that the performance is not good, or they're miscast or something, fair enough. One thing that I do want to ask of you, audience, if I may, would you mind if you own this game and you come across my character, feel free to kick my ass. Feel free to do that. That is one of the first things that I did in my playthrough when I came across my character, is just, I've provoked him into a fight, because why not? It sounds weird. It sounds weird. You find yourself in this virtual environment and your immediate thought is, oh yeah, there I am. Bam! But how can I resist? I recorded lines for that specific type of player NPC interaction, so I'm not gonna miss out on hearing that in the game. I wanna hear what it sounds like during gameplay. So do feel free to find me in the game and whoop my ass. I'm all for it. You can find me at the skate park more often than not. I don't know if I have a guaranteed spawn point there, but I've noticed that that's usually where I can find my character. You can also find me hanging around in the school hallways. Occasionally you might see me in a classroom in the background, so that's really cool. I don't think I'm included in any of the missions or cutscenes. I might be wrong about that, but thus far in my playthrough, I haven't encountered myself in anything story related. Still though, I had a lot of fun with this. Hopefully you enjoy the performance I put on, and if you do decide to check out the game, then I hope you enjoy the game. I can't promise you that you will, because I've had a look at the Steam ratings, and I think as of now, 35% of people are leaving positive reviews. I'm far from an expert on this. I'll just say that I hope Refugium Games continues to patch the game and work out all the little hiccups, and that over time, we can all, well, those of us who choose to play this game, we can sort of bond over it. And I have had a lot of fun with the game, just me and friends riffing on it, exploring the stuff that you can do in the game. And if nothing else, the game has some personality to it. There's definitely some passion poured into this. Whether or not it's pulled off successfully, you be the judge. And I guess I'll be the judge eventually. I'm just gonna finish the game, and I'll let you know. If you have any questions about any of this, leave those in the comments below. I'll do my best to be as informative and transparent as possible. Like I said, I'm not under an NDA, so if you want to ask me about the voice acting or the game itself, go ahead, but like I said, there will be a review coming out eventually. I am aiming to have at least one episode of my Agefield High playthrough released once a week. Of course, Master Mod will also be released every Saturday, Fridays for people who are channel members. But with all that said, if you find me in the game, whoop my ass, have fun. You can find a link to all my voice lines in this annoying thing. Sorry about that. Anyway, that's it for this video. You folks, as always, stay classy. Peace. Big thank you to my channel members who support what I do on YouTube. If any of you watching want to have your names listed at the end of my videos just like this, then please consider becoming a channel member. Thank you and have an awesome day. Peace out.